Boundaries tell people how to treat you. It's you telling people how you want them to treat you, the respect that you're receiving from other people, but also the respect that you are giving others. Because as much as you have your own boundaries, it is also important to respect other people's boundaries. Hello and welcome again to Reggenerate, where we focus on mental and emotional well-being as well as personal improvement. We are focusing on boundaries today. What is a boundary? It is an imaginary line that separates your personal space. It may be physical, it may be emotional, it may be social, but it is something you create around you so that you are able to make decisions that favor you when it comes to choices that you have to make in life. And we will look at a few types of boundaries and the importance of setting them up. But one thing we have to say is that boundaries tell people how to treat you. It's you telling people how you want them to treat you, the respect that you're receiving from other people, but also the respect that you are giving others. Because as much as you have your own boundaries, it is also important to respect other people's boundaries. And one of the types of boundaries we look at is the physical boundary. The physical boundary ensures that you have your space, and this means that you determine who you allow into your, physically who you allow into your space. Who do you allow everybody to hug you? Do you allow everybody to touch you, for instance? Physical boundaries also help you to determine when to take rest, when to sleep, when to go to the gym if you're a gym person, those personal things that you do. So a physical boundary tells people, or allows people, or gives people, the message that this is me, and there are people I allow this far, and there are people I don't allow this far. So that's your physical personal space. There are also spiritual or religious boundaries. And these are boundaries that you have around you that allow you to practice your spiritual or religious beliefs without being hindered or without being criticized. You have the freedom to worship in the way that you want and worship, the deity that you choose. So it gives you that personal, that freedom to choose who to believe in and how to worship. Those are religious and spiritual boundaries. There are also emotional boundaries that ensure that your feelings, your emotions are protected. And this means that you do not have to, you're allowed to express your emotions. You're allowed to feel the way you feel you need to feel. And you do not have the fear of someone manipulating you to feel a certain way or to express your emotions a certain way, or even to think a certain way. So those are emotional boundaries. You're free. You're not stressed as to, I need to look a certain way because I don't want to appear irritated or annoyed or sad. You have the freedom to express your emotions any way that you feel appropriate. And then there's also the social boundaries, whereby your social space comes in. You're able now, then you have the freedom to choose. You have put boundaries around yourself that allows you to have the kind of friends you determine are good for you, and those that you want to keep out. You can't allow everybody into your social circles or social space because that's not even healthy. It's not necessarily, it is not necessary. That's what I mean to say. And social boundaries are important because they can protect you from getting into toxic relationships. If you don't have social boundaries, or interpersonal boundaries, it's very easy for you to allow people into your life who turn out to be toxic towards you. And so social boundaries are important to have. They tell you, whom do I go out with? Whom do I entertain as a friend or someone close? So those are social boundaries. Then there's also the boundaries around your time. And we all know that time is really precious, and because time wasted cannot be recovered. So if you have boundaries around your time, what you're saying is that you protect your time. You do not allow time wasters to hang around you, and you also don't waste time yourself. So you have respect for time. And time boundaries also teach you or train you to say no to unnecessary tasks, or to say no to people you should not be saying yes to. So if someone comes and says, I need to step out, please do this and this and this for me. And because you had already planned your time, you don't have to say yes to, to that disruption. And so time boundaries are very, very important because they ensure that you use your time appropriately. And time boundaries also help you to get, if you're working, they help you to get paid the right, the right amount for the time put in. You don't work for, you don't work for long hours and get paid for half the time, that you put in. So time boundaries are important, and they allow you to be compensated appropriately for the time you put in. And then there are also financial boundaries. And financial boundaries are boundaries that you put around your money, around your assets, around your resources. And they are designed to, first of all, also help you grow yourself financially without a lot of interferences, without a lot of, unplanned for expenditures that may not really be helpful. And they allow you the freedom to choose how to use your money, how to use your resources. Financial boundaries also help you to decide who to lend your money to or who not to. If you don't have boundaries around your money, around your finances, it is very easy to find yourself, not being able to account for, your incomes, your money, because maybe you gave to people that you had not even, planned, or you used your money in ways that you had not budgeted for. So financial boundaries are important because they help you grow in that area, and they also protect you from exploitation or unnecessary, interferences from people out there, or from influences that you may not necessarily have control over. But once you have boundaries around yourself, it is easier to take charge of your money and your financial affairs. And then there's what I call absolute or non-negotiable boundaries. And these are boundaries that have to do with your own personal values. They have to do with personal safety and security. And these are boundaries that you put around yourself to protect yourself from harm, from unnecessary hurt, from abuse, from relationships that are obviously unhealthy for you. So, for instance, if you have this kind of boundary, you can tell yourself, I will not get involved with anyone who engages in drugs, or toxic behavior, or anything that you deem not safe for you. And so these are boundaries. Why I call them absolute is because you cannot negotiate them. You don't have room. You don't allow room for anything. And so that's why I say they have to do with personal values, safety, your own personal safety and protection, and they're there to protect you and to keep you safe. Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's financial, you put them, you set them up, and you observe them and you enforce them, so that they're there, and they're there to keep you safe. How you know where to put boundaries around in your life is areas where you find yourself stressed or you have challenges. So for instance, if you find yourself having challenges when it comes to friendships, when it comes to relationships, then it's probably because you do not have boundaries around that area. And so if you find yourself always getting into relationships where people take advantage of you, it's probably because you're not keen as to who you allow into your life as friends or as associates. So in whichever area of your life you find stress or challenges, it's probably an area where you need to set up boundaries. So boundaries, that kind of thing will help you to know which areas that you need to protect and to put boundaries around. But boundaries are only useful or only useful if they are set up and they are also observed or enforced. If you put boundaries but you also do not respect them, other people will not respect them, so they are not really helping you. So they are only as good as they are enforceable. And so it is important to observe your every area of your life and see where you may just be open and put some sort of boundaries around yourself so that you're able to have control over how you live your life. And so that's what we needed to mention today. And thank you very much.